how do you get yourself in the headspace to perform? How do you get yourself in the like, okay, I'm not nervous, I'm ready to go, I'm gonna smash this out, I'm not even thinking about it. How do you do that?
A couple beers, mate.
No.
That's what it comes down to. A couple beers. No, not sometimes. I mean, it does. It does definitely wet the whistle.
Yeah.
But I think it really depends what you're playing at. Like if it's a proper sit-down concert, I feel like, yeah, just some basic breathing techniques will do the trick. Well, actually, no, it won't do the trick because when I feel nervous, everything kind of seems to go out the window, really.
I'm the same.
Yeah, so I think adrenaline kicks in, and I think it's the same or similar to the, first mark on the canvas kind of idea, whereby as soon as you play the first chord, the nerves subside and you get into the flow and you just roll on. But yeah, if it's background music or it's a really super chill gig, then there's almost no nerves and it's kind of, you just kind of look forward to being able to jam and play. But yeah, I think it depends. I don't know, maybe I should meditate.
Beers or breathing sounds like a good one.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, a friend of mine, I remember we were road tripping. Well, we road tripped to this festival in Wales called Lost Cove Festival. And yeah, my mate Sam, we were in his van and he was about to play. And he did the most amazing vocal warm-up exercises and breathing exercises. I was sitting there, I don't know if I played before or after him, but I was thinking, God, I'm so lazy. Or I'm so, what have I got myself into? What's sitting there watching him do this amazing kind of warm up routine before his set, and I think as well now you see them, these artists or musicians doing all this prep for their performances and gigs, and it's quite amazing to see. But it's always a bad habit for me to just ignore that and just go straight. And I should probably do a bunch of breathing and bunch of vocal warm-up exercises beforehand, because you can do some damage to your voice, I've found out. So I don't want to go down that route. So
you want to be able to sing in 15 years time.
Yeah. Like one of my university lecturers, she had recently had an operation on her vocal cords, I think, or her throat, because she was a wacky singer, and I think she busted something in there that shouldn't have been busted.
I'm concerned now because I can really I'll push it with my voice and I'll get to the edge of my range, or even power. There's a difference in, it's not necessarily the pitch, but it's the power and the force at which I'm pushing out a note. And boy, have you got me scared now.
Well, I think, to be honest, if something feels wrong, if you feel like you're straining your voice massively, then obviously, I don't know if there's
wind it
something.
back. Dial it back a little bit.
But I think if everything feels fine and you feel comfortable in what you're singing, then I think it's no problem. But I guess it's always in the back of my head, should I, if I'm hitting some quite high notes, should I be, warming up my vocals? I probably should be, but I don't know if it actually makes a difference. You got your head voice and your chest voice. I often, if I go to a certain, I struggle belting, a lot of people can belt. I can't, I struggle to do that. My voice cracks and it goes all crazy. So I always go into my head voice.
Okay. I'd probably say I'm a bit of a belter.
Yeah.
I'm a combo. I don't know. I float between them. But.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it's down to, I guess, first of all, what your vocal style is. I mean, I've got quite a high voice, so I sing naturally at quite a high range, but it's each to their own, isn't it, really? And then you see these like metal singers who are like screamer, you know, and what they're doing. I wonder what if they've got some wacky warm-ups that they do.
It's wild. Surely they don't warm up. Surely that is the result of not warming up over
Maybe
like
not,
the last 15 years.
Well,
I do have this thing that has helped me, not just necessarily in performing, but it did help. So I supported Marty Pello, which is a really fun experience. And the week before that, I was in Greece for a wedding, and my girlfriend Susie was talking about challenging fears, and she'd listened to this podcast that was about removing yourself from your brain, and where, as far as if you feel anxious about something, you can kind of lock it in place and take a step back from it by referring to it as a kind of a second body, or its own entity essentially. And it's like this chimp theory. I think I'm completely butchering it, but the idea is when you are feeling anxious or nervous, you can acknowledge it and you can say, okay, that's just the chimp that is anxious, and that's fine. Go away, chimp. You're anxious. I see you, but I'm in control of this. And I coined this phrase because what I was dealing with in relation to fear was I have this thing with open water. You know, growing up in Jersey, the waters are so safe, but you go further east, southeast, whatever, and there's certain things that you might feel uncomfortable with. You know, I think anyone can be quite concerned in some really deep open water. And I was trying to challenge that, and we were swimming out, and how I managed to conquer this like fear in me was whenever I felt that, I would think of this chimp thing, and I coined this phrase that was bitch ass monkey. Yeah. So if I felt anxious, I would say out loud, I'd be like, bitch ass monkey. So I went snorkeling with two of my mates, and we'd be out, and then I'd be like, oh wow, this is pretty deep and we're quite far out. And then I'd see that I was the furthest one out from the shore, and I'd be like, oh, and then I'd go, bitch ass monkey, and I'd swim out further.
Oh yeah.
And that really helped me. And then the last thing I said before I got on stage at this Marty Pello support gig was bitch ass monkey. And it really does help. It's like it kind of removes you from that feeling of tension and anxiety, and then you say, oh, bitch ass monkey, and you remove yourself from that and you go and get on with it, and you're just in the moment. And that's really helped me.
Yeah, I think, that makes total sense, to be fair. If you take something that is obviously quite serious and an emotional feeling, and then you put a kind of satirical edge on it, like, you know, comedic edge. Yeah, it changes it. It transforms it into something
that you can almost control as well.
Controllable,
I think, yeah.